Good morning, everybody. I just sat down, I had my coffee, and while it cools down, I thought I would record a daily tune in. So, the last daily tune in I recorded was on a couple days ago, and it was the trigger that sent me into a wave of anger. I've talked about it in on some posts and things, but we just navigated quite the tsunami of energy. And in the past couple of weeks, much of that then was that energy was transmuting. And as it transmutes into higher levels of frequency, we then have to pass the lower energy, the lower frequency. And how we pass it is emotionally. We pass it by feeling it. We pass it by allowing ourselves to be with it without giving it meaning. And I talked about this on we had a chat around this on the Sunrise Sunday in Storehouse Social, and about not giving these passing emotions meaning. It's really natural for us to want to know what this is. Why am I feeling so angry? Where is this grief coming from? What is this attached to? And I want to remind you that we don't have to give it meaning, because a lot of times the meaning we give it isn't all of that accurate. Also, sometimes we give it more meaning than it deserves, because sometimes it's not even ours. It's collective energy that's triggering whatever that feeling is inside of us. And if we're feeling it, or if it's in the collective and we're feeling it, it's just a reflection that that emotion is still within us. So when anger bubbled up with this passing for me, it was really strong, and I wanted to give it meaning, and allowing myself to be in the awareness of no, you don't have to do that. Just feel it. Just feel it. Just cry it out. Just swear it out. However it is that you're called to pass these emotions, you just let them go without giving them meaning. Giving them meaning means you're putting your awareness on it and you're fueling it. And we just want them to pass. So being with those energies can be hard. You will also pass them physically. So wherever in your body that energy was stored, you will then pass it in some way. Mine was stored in the gut. So the last couple of days, I have had some gut things. I've spent some time in the bathroom. And I tell you that because I know it's too much information, but I tell you that from a vulnerable state. So we all know what we're talking about here. There's very practical ways that we can understand what our bodies are doing, what are our emotions doing when we allow these energies to pass through us. So now that we're on the other side of all of that, what I am finding is things are speeding up. So we pass these energies in order to clear them and make space then in our being for these higher frequencies to anchor in emotionally and even mentally. The clarity that starts to come when you clear out all of the gunk, all of the distortions. Anything that is of a lower density is distorting your relationship, your ability to tap into these higher frequencies of love, joy, expression, imagination, bliss, peace. This is where we find peace, by allowing these energies to move through without numbing them out. And I told the story on Sunrise Sunday about how at one point during my passing, I was like, that's it, I'm going to numb this. And I made myself a drink, which I don't ever do. And I haven't had a drink in literally months. And my body was like, nope. My being was said, nope, all at the same time. I couldn't even I took 2 sips and I had to pour the whole thing out. And I kind of chuckled because I was like, dang, we're getting to a point where numbing it won't work, because your being, when you get in the higher frequencies and you start anchoring into those higher frequencies, the distortion level of the lower frequencies of alcohol doesn't resonate with your body, and therefore your body won't accept it. So it's a really interesting thing. So as I say all this and I share all this, what I know to be true is things are speeding up now. My experience yesterday, I sat and I did not do a daily tune-in, a video one, because I spent about 7 hours yesterday doing the process of going through this State Department process that I was asked to go through. And I had to write narratives about different areas of not life, but different areas of intellectual understanding. And these narratives were really interesting for me to do, because there was a part of me from the old part that I recognized, and it was that I wanted to give the right answers. And again, the being part of me would not allow me to do that. I could only be truthful with my answers, with the narratives that I communicated in response to the questions that were asked. And they were kind of short essays, is what these narratives were. And I really took my time with them because, as you know, if you've been around for a while, I love writing. I love writing my perspective. And I wrote my perspective about what I saw in our world, in our government, and why I believe they need me. They need me more than I need them. So that was kind of what I kept hearing over and over. So at first, when I started, the like the old stuff was like, just give them what they want to say so you can get in and start to do the work. And then I was like, no, if I can't get in because I'm being truthful with what I see and how I feel about what I see, then I don't want to be there. I'm only doing things that are fully aligned with my truth, and I'm only doing things where I can speak it, where I don't have to dumb it down. I'm no longer dumbing myself down, because I did that for a long time. And I'm no longer covering up other people's someone's backing up. There's a hill right here, so people back up the hill, and it's really frustrating. But I'm no longer dumbing myself down, and I'm no longer sugarcoating things. If you can't hear what I see and what the truth is, then that's on you, not on me. So I was extremely truthful, and it felt so good. But it took 7 hours. It was so exhausting. And during that 7 hours, however, other things were brewing as well. And what I saw by the end of the day were different options that weren't there in the morning, that had presented themselves with opportunities of moving forward into a higher timeline of existence, which is what we're doing here. We are switching and up-leveling. Hold on. I'm gonna wait for this car to go up so we are not disturbed by it. So I am not disturbed by it. What we are doing is raising our emotional intelligence, which means our frequency. We are going into a higher level of intelligence so that we can resonate and match a higher level of expression of our physical life. And we are now being accelerated in that. And whatever that acceleration is, based on where you are, you're going to start seeing that as we move into the next few weeks and the next few months. The acceleration has begun, and you will start to see it. So here's what we also have to know. If you're here, chances are you are accelerating into a higher level of existence because you're tuned into this conversation. You're tuned into doing the work, doing the healing work. And we're all at different levels of, not levels, we're all at different phases of our healing journeys. So some may still have a lot to clear. Some may have cleared a lot. Some may have, kind of still be in confusion. Some have done no work. And those who have done no work and sit still in a very dense space, that too will start to accelerate. So as we see in our world, as we start to just tune into our own worlds, we're going to see an acceleration. And based on where you are in your healing journey, it will be reflected in what you see coming into your world. So if you see things coming into your world that you don't like, then be with what you don't like, allow that to pass through, and be committed to clearing all of the stuff, because the faster you can clear the densities, the faster what is coming in, what you are attracting into your world will change as well. The slower you are, the more that you sit in the density, afraid maybe to move through it, maybe afraid to feel it. If you sit with it and resist it, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to expand. And I don't tell you this to scare you. I tell you this to just give you the courage to sit with it and allow it to pass through, because the acceleration process is only going to expand. So if you are accelerating in density, that density in your physical world is just going to expand. And this is going to happen in the 3D world. I'm going to call it the 3D world, the very dense world, the dense world we know that is systematized by the web, the matrix of lower density consciousness. And this lower density consciousness is dismantling, as we've talked about for almost a year now on daily tune-ins. And as it dismantles, it's screaming to hang on. And as it's screaming, it's going to expand in the density of it. So those who are still in consciousness, connected to that denser consciousness world, to that to the grid that is the 3D grid, the world is going to get extremely, I'm going to say hard. It's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard to deal with. It could be scary to deal with. And those that are there are going to have I'm trying to find another word. They're going to experience a hard world, a hard reality. Okay? Because the lower consciousness of the 3D world is coming from a very small mind, right? A very fixed mind. And when a fixed mind is exposed to things that are outside of its knowing, the mind freaks out. And as that grid, as that energetic grid is dismantled faster and faster, those with a fixed mind are going to be extremely, they're going to be dismantled emotionally and probably physically. Therefore, when we look out and see this world in physicality starting to accelerate in the dismantling, that is for us to step out of. That is not our world. We are creating a higher world, creating a higher world of existence. So as our worlds of existence start to expand and accelerate, we have to be in our own individual worlds, tuned in, only looking at what is ours to look at. Everything else is not yours. This is where discernment comes in. Discernment is going to be extremely important between now and many, many months and a couple years, but especially between now and the end of this year, because this is where it's going to be a new practice in discernment with what we see, headlines, events, global events. The discernment that we have to understand is that many of these accelerated global events may look extremely scary, may look extremely manipulative and deceptive, and yet we know we know that it is the dismantling. And that's why we have to be very protected in our energetics, very protective, so that we can use the discernment of our heart to know that that is in our highest and best good, no matter what it looks like, that we are only concerned with the acceleration of our own world. And when we are tuned into our own world, we are the only ones that are responsible for our emotions, meaning we don't let in the outer world of fear come in. We discern that that has to take place. And we got a motorcycle leaving today. The noise here is so overwhelming to me. What I am, this is a perfect example. What I am tuning in is my outer world is so noisy at the moment. And this is my practice in discernment. This motorcycle is out of my world. It's not what I choose. So if I can come back in here and be completely tuned into you and into what I'm talking about, I am taking myself into a higher level of existence, into a higher level of emotional intelligence, and saying that when I keep my heart and my mind on where I'm going, what am I accelerating into? If I sit here and be pissed off that cars and everything else are leaving and noise is big, I am then tuning into the outside world. But if I let that outside world grow and stay, I swear, the universe is so funny. If I stay in what I know is accelerating in my own world, I can see the acceleration happening now. I've felt it for months, but I can start to see these puzzle pieces coming into my physical reality, and I'm seeing how they connect together. And as they connect, I'm seeing the bigger picture of where I'm being led. The discernment now is I'm tuning into that, because that's what makes my heart expand, and I want to be accelerated in expansion of my heart, not in the expansion of noise and chaos. It's a noisy world right now. Discernment is everything. So that's what our daily tune in today is to work and practice and be aware of where are we giving our power, our attention, our awareness. Am I giving it to the noise and the cars and the chaos, or am I giving it to what it is that's being created by my being in this moment after the tsunami of energy that we have just lived through? Because the tsunami of energy is now organizing into physical reality. So I'm going to pull a little card, a little rounder real quick. So, whoop, okay, that guy just flew out. Ooh, all right. This one, okay. This is what came out. So here's what I see. What do you see? I would love to know what you see. If you see something, please put it in the comments. Okay, so here it is. Well, oh, excuse my fingernail polish too. I went to take my nail polish off. I got one hand on, but I ran out. I spilled the stupid nail polish remover, and I didn't have enough to get it all off at this finger, so I have these like spots and stuff, so they look terrible. Here's what I see, and this is what I see in my own world showing up. Here's kind of this ascension column, okay? We rose up in it by clearing a lot of the stuff that we've cleared over the last few days and weeks. And now there's all of these different possibilities. There's all of these different possibilities that are going, these are timelines, right? Now, what I'm noticing too is timelines are shifting quickly, and timelines are starting to kind of come, like they're coming up from an idea, but they could go in different directions. And what I've also noticed is kind of like not a monkey, I'm going to call it a monkey mind, but not in the old pattern that we used to have. Like the monkey mind was the mind that that ran around all the different things that we needed to worry about, that we couldn't forget, that we had to be in fear of. What I'm noticing is the monkey mind is now transmuting to all of these ideas, all of these things that seem disconnected. So they seem like different timelines, but what's happening is it's kind of the bricks of your soul timeline that are just appearing. So they look disorganized, but they are organizing into a soul timeline of reality. This is so hard to like put into words because there aren't words that describe this. So if you have if you find that your mind is running, I have found it doing that, but when I find that I tune into it, it's all really expansive ideas, insights, pieces of the puzzle, and I sit there and I'm organizing them together, seeing how they fit together. And the more I sit with these pieces, the more I'm seeing how they are fitting together. And as they lock into place, they start to make sense. And I start to see how things in my life, in my world, have come full circle. And I'm starting to see how all of these different pieces are creating the reality that is now unfolding. And the acceleration of these puzzle pieces coming together is where we start to see our work, our transmuted energy come into physical reality. I hope that makes sense. I'm having a hard time kind of piecing the words together, but at the same time, just know that it's going to get really exciting. And the excitement is going to be in many different ways. And the excitement is going to be based for each individual, the karmic tentacles that they have had. Karmic tentacles mean you've got karma. And however you've lived your life, if you have been manipulative and deceptive, these karmic tentacles are going to start kind of wrapping all around you. So if you've got someone in your life that has brought you misery of some sort, drop them from your being. Karma will take care. Gus will take care of those who have been deceptive and manipulative. If you have set high intellectual karmic tentacles in your world, meaning you worked on the healing of yourself, and you work from and operate from a higher intention of love and truth, those karmic tentacles are going to be wrapping all around you, and karma's going to take care of you. So either way, karma's going to take care of you, and it's going to be accelerated. So that is what we are going to see. For those who have been deceptive and manipulative, we're going to watch karma take care of their physical reality. And it may be hard to watch. If, for those who have lived in the higher realms of intellectual, emotional intelligence, in love, with intentions of good for all, with the intentions of healing, with the intentions of truth, then karma's going to take care of you. The storehouse is about to open. It's not about to open. It's opened. I know it. The storehouse is always open. And the more you raise up in higher frequency, the more that doorway opens and just spills out. And that's what you're going to see more and more of. So keep on keeping on if you're on this journey of healing. These karmic tentacles is what we have been creating in consciousness, and now those tentacles are going to be showing up in our worlds. It's going to be really interesting because we have no idea how these karmic tentacles, what the quantum structure of them are. The quantum structure of them is going to determine what it is in matter, in physical reality, how they show up. So it's going to be like magic. like magic. These karmic tentacles, for those of us who are tuning into the daily tune-in, are going to be extremely magical, how they show up. And when they do, it might look like coincidence. It might, we can call it magic, but we know it is simply our efforts organizing into physical reality. So open up your arms, sweet soul, and receive openly and gratefully all the karmic tentacles that you have planted, you have seeded with your consciousness and with your work, because you are going to see the rewards and harvest those rewards. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I thank you. My coffee is now cooled off enough now that I can drink it, and I'm going to sit here and drink this beautiful morning in this quiet. I'm intentionalizing a quiet, beautiful morning to sip my coffee and allow these karmic tentacles to take over my world, because I release, I surrender. I know what I've done. I know the work I've done. I know what karma I have. I'm pretty secure in that. So have at it, universe. Let the karma unfold. So much love to you all. Mwah. Take care.